It's like 7:02, and I'm leaving Omaha right now. Weather is looking to be pretty good today. I did see some storms coming through South Dakota, but it looks like they're all supposed to pass through long before I get there, so let's hope so. I'm trying to stay off interstate today as much as possible. It is going to add some ride time to today's trip, but you really shouldn't add more than maybe a few miles. But it's much better the route I've got planned out, because it's going to allow me to ride through the Black Hills, which I did not get to do last year, but did get to do the year before. So I'm excited to ride that a little bit and get today underway. You know, I saw the dense fog warning on my weather app this morning. I guess this is it. I mean, this stuff is so dense, you can see the water just rolling off my windshield. In fact, it's covering my face shield too, so I've got it popped up right now. The windshield's doing a pretty good job of blocking my eyes so I can actually see, but I had to drop off speed just a little bit due to visibility. You see all kinds of cool stuff when you're riding in the Midwest. Actually, you really don't, but you do see stuff like that. I just stopped off in a little town called Hooper to get gas. I didn't fill up before I left this morning, so I only went, I don't know, maybe 50 miles or so. Now I'm getting ready to hop back on Highway 35 to continue on. Went through the town of Norfolk, Nebraska. Pretty decent sized little town. They had about everything you need back there. I happened to come upon a Target, so I stopped in there for a minute. I've got a little bit of a shoulder. It's not really shoulder. It's like my trap where it connects there to the base of my neck. It was stinging a little bit yesterday, and it's bothering me a little bit more this morning. So I stopped in there at Target. They were open, and picked up whatever the off brand or whatever the Target brand of the Icy Hot patches are, and just threw one of those on while I was back here in the parking lot. You know, it's icy to what is it? Icy to dull the pain and hot to smooth the pain away. Whatever, it feels pretty good on there right now. It said it's good for up to 8 hours, which will just about get me through the ride today. But hopefully that helps. So I've got about 3.5 hours until I come upon a town called, I believe it's pronounced Cedron, Nebraska. I'm not really planning on stopping there. I may stop somewhere before I get there, but I've just plotted out points to make sure I can stay off the interstate today, and that's just kind of my next town I get to before I start to head back up into South Dakota and into the Black Hills. So I don't know how well you guys can see the GPS right now, but looks like I'm going to be on 275 for quite a while. I don't make any turns until 312 miles down the road. And I'm not even sure if that's accurate, because I just set a little place point, and usually once I get close to those, then I have it map me to the next spot. So they normally take me to like the center of town. So I might actually be on this road even longer than that. So I guess I ought to get comfortable and enjoy the view. It's going to be a little while. Rolling into the town of Valentine, Nebraska. And I'm about due for some fuel for both my bike and for myself. So I'm gonna get a little something to eat, get some gas. I've ridden a little over 300 miles. It's just about noon local time. I will be gaining an hour a little bit later, but I've got about another 280 miles, give or take, left to cover. So I'm past the halfway point, and it's just now hitting lunchtime, so doing pretty well so far. All right, so just stopped off there in Valentine. Got myself a little something to eat. Obviously, you know, nothing fancy. But talked to one lady. Her and her husband are on their way up to Yellowstone. I think they were driving an SUV. And apparently she'd been up to Alaska before. But come to find out, they're going to be staying in Deadwood tonight. So I may cross paths with them again. Talked to another gentleman. Also rides motorcycles. And they both had the same opening line. Wow, you're a long way from home. Well, yeah, I'm not even halfway to where I'm going yet. So I had planned on riding the Black Hills today, much like I'd planned to ride them last year. I did ride them the year before. However, it looks like it's probably not going to happen. I was just checking the radar, and there are some pretty severe patches of storms coming through. And if I head west, I'm going to be heading right into them. So the plan is to shoot up north. I might catch just a little bit of the rain. And then once I get up to about I-90, I should be above it the rest of the way in. I-90 is not that much fun, but it's not a whole lot different than what I've been riding today. So either way, I'm going to end up in Deadwood tonight if all goes as planned. But just sucks I'm not going to get to ride the Black Hills. Well, I wasn't really expecting this, but not much you can do other than ride it. There was literally a sign less than a quarter mile from where this started that just said pavement ends. Not much of a warning. But I don't think it goes on like this for too terribly long. I'm just glad I hit it before, you know, if the rain does come, before the rain comes. Yeah, it didn't last very long. So making some pretty good time up Route 83 north. I've got about 11 miles till I get to Mission, where it looked like if I got to there, I should be able to avoid the rain. It would pretty much stay south. I'm in just a few bit of raindrops right now, which I kind of expected to happen. But if you look up ahead, that's where you can see the break in the clouds. So once I get up north there, it should be okay, and then I'll start to head west. The silver lining in all this is, even though I'm not, you know, going to get to ride much of the Black Hills like I had planned, I will get into town about an hour earlier. It will cut off some mileage from my trip, and if I'm being honest, you know, these first 2.5 days have started to wear on me a little bit. So maybe a good idea to get in town a little early, get a little bit of rest, and get ready for tomorrow. So this time they gave us a little bit more warning. There was a big flashing sign back there that said slow down, road work ahead, pavement ends. So let's see what's going on up here. There you go, pavement ends, rough road. They gave us a little bit more warning this time. It's like a dirt gravel mix. I don't really need to stand up to ride this. I'm just standing up to stretch my legs a little bit. I mean, it does make the bike a little bit easier to balance, especially in this damn rut that I somehow managed to get in. I don't even have the bike in off-road, you know, throttle or off-road fuel map or suspension mode. I've actually been running the suspension in what they call comfort mode, since there's been a lot of you know, straight roads. I don't need anything. Excellent handling. It's a little bit softer, so it just makes the ride a little bit smoother. And typically I run the throttle in street because I normally have Kristen on the back. It's just a little bit smoother throttle response, so it's less jerky for her on the back of the bike. But I've just gotten used to riding in there. Every once in a while I'll throw it up in sport. You know, I wasn't expecting stuff like this until I got up north of the border. We did hit a little bit of stuff like this last year in Montana and Colorado, I believe. I don't think I've crossed the border into South Dakota yet. I think I'm still in Nebraska. I'm not sure. With as much road work's been going on down through here, I could have just missed the welcome sign. Oh, still no road up here. This stuff's a little bit rougher. And I kind of got to pay attention to what the signs are doing up here. I got to turn left up here anyway. All right, I can sit my butt back down. It looks like my plan, I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like my plan to head up north and miss the rain may have worked. As you can tell ahead, it's much clearer, and even over to the west now, it looks pretty clear from where I'm going to be headed. It's, you know, I don't mind riding in the rain, but when you see storms coming, if you can avoid them, why not? It just makes for a much safer and enjoyable ride. You know, I was in this exact intersection 2 years ago. I remember that gas station right up there. I stopped there to get gas, and I think the best they had was 87 octane. And now I find myself back here again. Anyway, I've got about 39 more miles till I make my next turn. I've ridden this stretch of road before. Last time, Kristen and I sat right here for a while because they were doing road work up here, I believe on this bridge or right before it. So the good news is, in the last 2 years, they got the work done. So hopefully I don't have to deal with any more road work for this next stretch anyway. You see some of the craziest farm equipment out west. Stuff we don't have back on the East Coast. And if we do, they're very few and far between. You know, I never really hit any bad weather today. A couple little sprinkles, and you know, it was cloudy there for a while, but man, has it gotten beautiful out now. I've got just right around 100 miles left to go for the day, so a little less than 2 hours, and we'll be arriving in Deadwood, South Dakota. Alright, so coming into Rapid City, it looks cloudy. It looks like it could maybe rain, but it's not really supposed to. I've gone a little over 203 miles without getting off the bike, and I only have like 40 left, so I think I'm just going to ride it out the rest of the way to end up in Deadwood. I'm hoping this rain holds out, but if it rains a little, no big deal. I'll survive. So fortunately, or unfortunately, however you want to look at it, I never really like to ride interstate unless I absolutely have to. But I am going to have to get on a little bit of interstate today, but it's only for 30 miles, so figure, you know, 25 minutes or so. Not bad in the grand scheme of things, considering, you know, I've ridden over 500 miles again today. Oh man, I'm glad to be off the interstate, even though it wasn't a very long stretch. What have I covered so far? 1,761 miles and almost 3 days. You know, traveling broke's probably not the best idea. You guys got a bicycle there and got a dog in the crate. I don't know. Tell you what, I think it's going to be a cool evening. It's down to 63, and it's 3:15 in the afternoon. It's not even quite that yet, about 3:10 in the afternoon. I wouldn't be surprised if it drops down into the 50s, which means I'm going to have to layer up a little bit tomorrow morning, taking off. And there's Deadwood. I don't know what I find so cool about this place, but it's just one of the neatest little towns I've ever visited, and that's probably why this is my 3rd straight year coming back here. Now, granted, my routes have brought me somewhat nearby, but I've always made it a point to stay in Deadwood. In fact, I'm staying at the same hotel again tonight. Now, the quickest way for me to get to the hotel is to stay on this street here and go up and hang a right, but I just feel obligated to ride down the historic main street here at the entrance and everything, so I'm going to do that, and then I basically got to just make a quick U-turn around to get back to the hotel. Tell you what, I want a picture of my bike with that sign, so... Let's finish our ride down Main Street here. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be in this parking lot here. That's okay, it doesn't really matter, because I can just jump the curb. So this is obviously some of the newer stuff right here. It's the first time I've ever gotten into Deadwood this early in the day. We tried it last year, but we got held up for like an hour and a half or something in that terrible storm. If you guys haven't seen that video, I'll link it, but that shit was nasty. So happy to be here early enough that I can enjoy a little bit of the town and get a little rest before hopping back on the bike tomorrow morning. Man, there are a lot of people out. This is as crowded as I've ever seen it. And I know it's on a weekend, but still, a lot of people out walking the street.
All right, so got into Deadwood like an hour and a half ago, did a little impromptu back in the garage. Didn't shoot an entire video, just was out there checking out the bike. Bike checked out fine. So the bike was losing just a little bit of water earlier, so I tore the damn thing all the way down, checked it out. It seems like everything's fine. The radiator's full, the overflow is empty, but I'm gonna go ahead and burp the line, make sure there's no air in it. It seems like my seal job I did here on the valve cover bolt is holding fine. This only took like 20 minutes to tear it apart, so I'll get the thing back together and go ahead and burp the line, make sure we're good, and then go get something to eat. I just got a shower. I feel 100 times better, but both hands are empty, meaning I don't have a cold drink. I need to find one. Let's head out to the street, go see what's going on. When I was out there a little bit ago, it was busy as could be, as busy as I've ever seen it in Deadwood, and I want to go hang out with the crowd and go have a little bit of fun. Just spent like the last 20-30 minutes on the phone with Kristen. Tried to talk to her earlier today and did for a few minutes, and then we lost signal while I was going down the road. But it's kind of weird not having her on the trip. But that's all right. I'm still gonna make the most of this. I'm having a great time. It would be better if she was along, but that's okay. I can't do anything about it this year. So before I head out around town to go get something cold to drink, there is this nice little store across the street where I can go pick up a bottle of whiskey to put in my top case, because I'm going to be in Canada in a few days, and Canadian whiskey is, it's okay, but I like my bourbon. Bet you guys can't guess what's in here. I know I said bourbon, but it's not actually bourbon. It's my good old Tennessee whiskey. So since my hotel is right across the street from that place, I'm going to take this back into the room, and then I'm going to pay more money to drink at a bar. I don't know why people do that, but I guess it's because it's fun.
Suddenly, Jack McCall.
All right, so we just watched Wild Bill Hickok get shot. Bartender, huge Seth Bullock fan, which is awesome because I'm writing about him in my upcoming book, which has not been published yet, but will hopefully be out by the end of 2018, if not early 2019. And I met a really cool couple from the Kansas area that were cool to hang out with there for a little while. I gotta go find some food. What's up, dude?
What's up, brother?
I gotta go find some food. Great night at the old number 10. I think I'm headed down to the gym. All right, so excellent dinner at the Gym Saloon and Steakhouse tonight. I'm headed back to the room. I need to dump footage from earlier today. I need to get some sleep. I have another big mileage day tomorrow, not quite as big as today or the previous 2 days before today, but still a lot of miles all the same. So see you guys in the morning.